Hey there, Gyms. It's Jessica at the Gym City Homestead. Thank you for joining me today. If you're new here, welcome. If you've come back, wow, but thanks for that. And today we are winter sowing some more because I can't stay out of the dirt because I'm so ready to garden. I can't stand it. So let's do that. All right, so how we are doing this. So last time, I have a video, I'll link it below or in the side or somewhere. I did some winter sowing. I did garlic and I put some lettuce outside. Sadly, and also my dog is destroying a cup right now, and I just can't stop him because otherwise he'll be barking. Sorry about that. I sowed some winter garlic and I sowed some lettuce, and what ended up happening was the squirrels got the lettuce because I didn't try to protect it. I had a cover on it, but then I decided that I needed to use that for my compost bin, which is a whole other conversation. There's a video about it, but it also has just been snowing and raining a lot, so it's not doing what it needs to be doing at the level I need it to be doing it at. So I'm working on it. Anyway, so today, one of my favorite ways to get a little bit dirty in the soil, but do it in a way that's not completely wasteful, is to do winter sowing in the milk jug, the humble milk jug. These are great for reusing for this purpose. And I have a couple of them set up already. We're gonna do at least two. I have a fourth one, but so there's these two and then there's one on the floor. We'll get there. Yeah, so what I love about this is that it makes it really easy. It's like its own little greenhouse, right? So what you'll see here is that I've cut it open and then I filled it up with dirt. On the bottom, I've poked a whole bunch of holes in it, and then you fill it in the dirt. You get the dirt wet, preferably before you put it in the jug. And then once the seeds are in there, you close it back up. You get some handy dandy duct tape or packing tape or whatever tape you have. You seal it up, you leave the opening open, and then you set it outside and just let it do its thing. It doesn't seem like it should work, but it absolutely works. So let's get started. I again have some that are already prepared because, I could spend 20 minutes making these all go the way they're supposed to, or we could just do it this way. So I have this milk jug and I have this little pokey stick that I got from the dollar quarter store. And so there's a couple different ways. It doesn't matter how many holes you have in here, just make sure the soil's not falling through. This is a very small needle thing, so I'm gonna put a lot of holes in here. If you're gonna use scissors or a screwdriver or a screw gun or a knife even, you probably wouldn't need to do as many. I prefer to do it while the milk jug is still solid because once you open it, the structural integrity, of course, is a little bit lost, and so you're at more risk of hurting yourself, which we don't want to do. So safety first, kids. All right, so I'm just gonna start poking holes along the ridge. So when you think about where the holes go, you want to put them where the water is likely going to settle. And this came from the dollar quarter tree. So, it is what it is. I've already used it several times today. Yeah, so we're just gonna poke in some holes. And because this thing is so small, I'm putting in extra holes to make sure that the water can get through. You want to do it on all sides. Just don't want that water to sit in there too much, right? Because it's gonna collect all the rainwater, but it's not gonna collect a lot. It's only gonna collect whatever falls in here. The other thing that's gonna happen is it's also going to build condensation from the sun beating down on it. And so all that water is gonna fall down into your plant as well. So you don't ever have to water them, which is one of the reasons why this is super cool. All right, so once you got the holes in the bottom, I don't know if you can see any of those, but I'll hold that there for you. Hey, that's not for you. You're a dog. Once you got the holes in the bottom, you are going to keep your dog away from all your toys because he's a nosy dog. He can't help himself. Oh, and there's another dog. Too bad you can't see them. They're really cute. Okay. So once you put the holes in the bottom of your jug, you're going to cut it about halfway across. You're gonna do it so it's slightly below where the handle is. And you're gonna cut so there's about an inch where it's still connected. You don't wanna cut all the way through because then setting it on top is gonna be a nightmare and blah, blah, blah. You want it to be able to hinge open like a big mouth. Right? So there's about that inch right there where it's still connected. But I'll show you what I do. You just kind of take your scissors and make a little score across the side where you think that line needs to be. And then eventually you'll be able to poke your hole through it and just, it cuts really easily. You can also use like an X-Acto knife or you know, one of those sharp blade thingies that you get at the hardware store. I was looking for mine, I couldn't find it. It's probably for the best that I didn't though. So just cut it to the hinge and then fold it back just like that. And you want to make sure that it stays on so that way, you know, it still has a little bit of structural integrity there. All right, and so then from there, you fill it up with soil, and I have some pre-soaked soil over here. This is the same potting mix that I used to start my onion seeds, and there's a video for that as well. I'll link it in the description. My onion seeds are doing great, by the way. They're all starting to germinate and pop up, and I'm so excited. Anyway, so I have this pre-moistened. It's just a regular potting soil. I did add some fertilizer to it since it is going to be just sitting in here. I wanted to make sure that it had a little bit of additional food source since I won't be able to add any myself later. And you're just gonna fill this. You don't want to pack it in too tight and you don't want to get it too tall. So we'll just use whatever soil I have left in here. It's pretty funny because I definitely thought I would have more. I thought I would have enough to do 4 of these, and I think I only have enough to do 3, which is pretty terrible. Oh, dog found the fountain. Alright, so it's in there. Dirty hands. I care a lot. We'll deal with it. So you just want to make sure it's like, you know, packed down a little bit. And then you just poke holes depending on what you're planting, right? And then you just drop your seeds in. And today I'm going to be planting some Little Jim lettuces from Baker Creek. These are frost hardy, which is one of the things that you want to look for is whether or not these plants that you're going to start from seed out in these little milk jugs, I love milk glass, are frost hardy, because like starting peppers or tomatoes in here is not going to be ideal, but starting things that are cold weather crops like brassicas and lettuces and things like that are much more ideal for this. You could, I haven't successfully tried anything other than lettuce type situations. I think I did spinach last year and kind of forgot about it. I think I might have started a pepper, but I don't think it did anything. All right, so of course lettuce seeds are the tiniest of seeds, so I'm just gonna drop a couple in each of these holes. Actually, I think I might sprinkle them on top. Why? Because they're little baby lettuces, right? So they will just kind of do what they do. Oh, my hands are dirty. I don't like dirty hands. All right, so this is little gem lettuce now. Easy peasy, right? You can barely see the seeds in there. The ones that germinate will work. The ones that don't will not. And you just tape it up and set it outside, and that's it. That's the whole story. And we're gonna do that if I can find the start of this tape. Like I said, you can use duct tape or you can use packing tape, whatever works best. I find that duct tape actually is not exactly cold resilient. So if you have a different kind that might work better, I would try that. That off. And then, so the hardest part about all of this actually is remembering what you put in here. I've heard people write the label on the inside of the jug backwards so that way you can see it through the lid. Or they've written it on the outside or they've written it on the tape. What ends up happening though is permanent marker does not stick in the sun and the rain. It always gets washed off no matter where you put it. So bear that in mind. I don't know what the answer is. I'm just gonna try to remember. And I'll probably make a video in like 2 months being like, do you remember what I put in these? Because I sure don't. What is this supposed to be? I don't know. So it'll be fun. All right, so next up is I'm gonna try a cauliflower. I have these from the Dollar Corner tree. They are $4 for $1. These are last year's seeds, and they take about a month and a half to harvest. 2.5 months to harvest. I'm only gonna put one in here because obviously this is way too small. My hope is that I can get it germinated to a place, or like started as a start, so that when I am ready to start planting earlier crops in March, it'll be ready to go in there then. Because it's also gonna take 7 to 10 days to germinate. It'll probably take a little bit longer because it's outside. Got mud all over my table, you guys. This is fun. All right. I don't know if this is a good idea. Let's try it. What could go wrong, you know? Gardening is an experiment. That's one of the things that I love about it. You just try things and see what works. And if it doesn't, you remember it for next year. The only reason I think cauliflower wouldn't work in here is because it is such a big plant. I love cauliflower, but I don't love how much space it takes up in the garden. And so I'm really hesitant to plant it any other way than this. Just threw a bunch of seeds all over the floor. All right. Expert gardener here, you guys. So I'm just making a little bit of a hole and dumping some seeds in, and then I'm gonna cover them up. And that's it. It's so easy. It's like, why didn't we do this before? And we're gonna put the tape on. I wasn't gonna have enough tape, and I think I might have just enough. All right, so you want to make sure there's a good seal on it so none of that air gets in through the sides, but it's fine. I overwatered that soil, you can tell by the mess on my table. The last one that I'm going to do today is some strawberry spinach from Baker Creek. I have no idea how these are going to work either. I think these, let's see here. Old-fashioned plant, blah, 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 produces greens used like spinach, pretty berries. Jugs sow before last frost of spring. Succession plant. Yeah, so I'll just put a handful in here and see what happens. Oh my gosh, these are the tiniest itty bitty seeds. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, they're all on the tape now. Awesome. All right, well. That was like half the bag. They were so tiny. They were microscopic tiny. I think I might still have some on my hands that are that tiny. I can't tell. And what do we do next? We tape it up. So let's do that. And I like to start it where the seam is. So it kind of makes it easier to like hold it in place, to do what it's supposed to do, kind of. I say that, and then I just like knocked it all out of place, didn't I? That's fine. All right. Do a choppy chop. And now for our next step, we take these outside, and that's the whole story. Let's go. So these are just gonna go right here. So now these just sit outside and my work is done. Nature takes care of the rest. How great is that? And we're back. So as you can see, that's like a super easy process. I very luckily have like 20 of these milk jugs. I picked them up for free on Nextdoor. They're super easy to find. You can put and call out to your friends and your neighbors on the Facebook or the Instagram or wherever you talk to the people you talk to in person. Nextdoor, Marketplace, those are all great places to find empty, clean. You want to make sure they're clean. I don't think I mentioned that. They've all been pre-washed milk jugs. And you can also use like gallon water jug containers. You can use 2-liter soda bottles. You can use pretty much anything that's just a clear or semi-opaque plastic bottle. Sorry, my dogs are barking at the mailman. They're very cliche dogs. And, again, it's super easy, and it allows you to like get that bug out of your system. Because if you're like me, you are dying to get out into the garden, but it's snowy outside. It's 20 degrees outside. It's been raining for 3 weeks straight. Like, it's not time, right? But this is a way that you can do that, where you can get that fix, and it might actually produce something for you. So if you have tried this before, please tell me how it went for you in the comments. If you have not tried this before, but you're going to, I want to hear about that too. And if you want to see how mine turn out, make sure that you subscribe and hit that ring bell so that you get notified when that video comes out, okay? I want to thank you so much again for joining me today, and I hope you have a great and lovely day. Bye! Bye.